Welcome, everybody, to the 44th episode of the Take Aim Gamescast. I'm your host, Scott Mills, the Microsoft/PC expert. It's a big day for Microsoft.
Ooh.
Well, it was. We'll talk about
A
it.
few days ago. Maybe a week ago.
Yeah. On my left, I've got Brett Wolf, the PlayStation expert.
What's up, guys?
And on my right, I've got Eric King, the Nintendo expert, slash a little bit of everything expert,
And sometimes
slash
the newsman.
sometimes the newsman.
What's up, guys?
Hey, so we're not doing trivia today because, as we unveiled in our last episode, we're doing a big gold tournament. So it's time for the big 32-game tournament that we created. 10 games that have been Xbox exclusives, 10 from Sony, 10 from Nintendo, and then we got a couple Rockstar games in there with Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grand Theft Auto 5. So, we're doing the first 4 games of the first round today. What we're arguing is what game you think is the best game out of the 2 games. Then 2 of us are going to kind of give our arguments for these games here for these first rounds. So there's going to be 4 episodes in the first round, and there's going to be 4 matchups per episode. And then, we're going to give our arguments. We're going to post a poll on Twitter. We're going to be getting 1 vote each on the Twitter poll, and then everybody else can also vote on it, and we'll announce the results, what game won, the next week. Now, we know that, things could get a little bit boring if we're just going over the same points in, the extra rounds for the games that move on. So, we'll probably do,
We'll talk some smack about the opposing game.
yeah, for
That's what I'm doing.
the second round, we'll just be quicker about going through the matchups. We'll give our opinions on which one we think is the better game. So we can make any point we want. We can say this is better because the impact it had on this publisher. We can say it's better because of nostalgia factor, because I personally had more fun with this game. You can say, oh, well, these mechanics are way better and this other game doesn't have it. So, all of that's on the table all around. What game do you think is the best game? You can use our arguments to determine if you think that it's the better game. You just have to vote for a game, and whoever gets more votes on Twitter is the better game in this tournament. So, with that out of the way, let's get on to our first matchup here. In general, I'm going to be arguing for the Microsoft Xbox games. Brett's going to be doing the Sony games, and Eric's going to be doing the Nintendo games. But where we have a face-off with 2 of that same publisher, then one of us is going to step in.
Yeah, today I got Uncharted 4. No Nintendo games.
Yeah. Okay, the first matchup. We have the number 1 seed, the number 1 game that was picked in this tournament.
Was it? I didn't know this was a draft style, but
Well,
Because it was
it was the number. It was the first thing.
we'll call it the
picked.
number 1 seed.
They were random selections, but we have Ghost of Tsushima versus Fable. And arguing on behalf of Ghost of Tsushima, we have Brett Wolf, the PlayStation expert. Arguing on behalf of Fable, we have Scott Mills, the Microsoft/PC expert. So, let's have Ghost of Tsushima. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I go first. So are we Eric, we're going to time this?
Oh, yeah.
So I think we're going to time it for 1 minute for our arguments for why this game is better than the game it's facing off against. And then we might have a little bit of chatter after in case a third person, let's say Eric's in this first matchup, might have an opinion. Then we can do that, but we want to keep it as streamlined, as efficient as possible just to get through it. So let me know when to start.
Go ahead when you're ready.
Alright, so Ghost of Tsushima came out in 2020 during COVID. Game sold over 10 million copies, which is an amazing for a PlayStation exclusive game. You look at the game, look at the world that Sucker Punch built. Coming from a developer that made games like Infamous and Spy Cooper, and it was a big deal to move into this AAA space. Looking at the game, it's a beautiful game. You play as a samurai named Jin, and the world building, playing in 13th century feudal Japan, has not really been shown too much in games at that point of time. Game's breathtaking, great visuals, great setting, great characters. I thought they were all had their own motives, depth to them. They weren't just standard NPCs. The combat. There's so much variety. There's 4 different stances. It's already a minute. And yeah, this is a great game. Get it.
Dang.
Okay. All right. Are we good for me?
Start when you're ready.
All right.
That's a minute.
So Fable 1. We're talking about the first Fable here. It came out in 2005. Why Fable is such a great game? It's an old game, older than Ghost of Tsushima by quite a bit. But you have kind of open world type of game here with a bunch of regions. But the campaign only takes like 12 hours to complete. It's nice and short. You have alignment, so you can play as a good or evil character, and your character changes their appearance based on like your actions that you take in, which I think is really cool. It's something that developers have gone away from in today's day and age. Like, being evil was kind of funny in this game. Like, you could fart in anybody's face or burp in their faces. That was hilarious. You could buy houses. You could get married to anybody. Like, this was great stuff. I mean, what games does this sound like? I mean, you got there's cool Easter eggs. Like, if you kill like 1,000 guards, then like the guards will turn into wolves, and you can have that as a summon. So you have summons. I like summons in this game.
You're done.
Oh, I can keep going too. I got more points.
Discard the summons.
We're at the 1 minute mark.
There's 6 different endings.
Discard the summons.
6 different endings.
All right. Do either one of you want to rebuttal for 30 seconds to the opposing game? Talk some smack, baby.
I would love to.
I'll give you 30 seconds.
Okay.
So,
all right. Fable, old game. Who cares about farting and good versus evil? Like, maybe that was kind of ahead of its time, but like, who cares about farting and summons is in all types of different games, especially Final Fantasy games. Because it's Tsushima, a AAA game, beautiful, it's newer, it's more accessible for newer players. Fable is just an old game, and can you really get into it now? No, I would recommend playing it. All it goes to Tsushima, AAA, great PlayStation exclusive.
perfect. 30.45.
Oh man, I'm talking fast.
Sky, do you want to rebuttal? You got anything
Yeah.
bad to say about Ghost?
Okay, this has to be about Ghost.
No, you can talk some more about Fable. You can like 30 seconds, whatever you want to say. Go ahead.
Okay, I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, but I would argue that you should play Fable today, and I argue that it still would hold up as fun. Like, I went back and I played it for one of my Nostalgia Hour streams, and it was great fun. You know, it was hilarious because, you know, you could just making whatever decision you want. And the combat's not bad. It's,
Is it?
yeah, that's it.
Alright.
That's not bad.
Alright, so we had our why we should play it.
You should emphasize the farting more, I think, Scott.
Well, don't
you
hate
should
it.
just rebuttal it with how good the farting was.
Talk about that offline. We don't want to influence anybody watching it.
I
So,
don't-
hey,
We're
done. We're done.
Good. The campaign is good.
Oh, we're done. We're done arguing
I
our
hope the
games.
next
That's it.
Fable-
No, he's just worried that it's...
No,
that
that's the end of our
Fable
game.
would
We
win.
had our time.
I hope the next Fable has like a fart wheel, or you can do like wet farts, dry farts, like long farts,
Oh, man.
Maybe some diarrhea
silent
in
but
there.
deadly.
Okay.
That's my hope. So.
It's not the only thing.
All right, on to the next match.
Alright, so next matchup. I will be the moderator for this one. And it will be Red Dead Redemption 2, sponsored by Eric. And then Grounded, Microsoft exclusive, sponsored by Scott Mills.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just go from top down. So we'll start with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
And yeah, whenever you're ready.
All right, I'm ready. Go ahead. I'd like to thank everybody for the floor here. I didn't bring notes with me, so I'm just gonna be going off the cusp a little bit today. But We're talking about Red Dead Redemption 2. We had Arthur as the main protagonist in that game. It was a really good open world game. A lot of side quests. I mean, it was probably one of the biggest open worlds I've ever been in. And the good thing about that open world was like it was kind of all just like streamlined. Like you didn't have to. You couldn't even really tell like what was a side quest and what was a main quest because the side quests were so good in that game. Story was amazing. I mean, it was so good they had to do a sequel. They're already talking about remastering the first one because the second one was so good and everyone loved it so much. Yeah, that's about it. I'm about out of time here, so that's my argument.
All right, Scott, whenever you're ready to stop talking, I'll start the counter. We're Grounded.
All right, Grounded. So developed by Obsidian, and yeah, it kind of surprised people when it came out. It came out like just after a little bit after Outer Worlds came out, and it's like a unique little survival game where it's little people in a big world setting. So like you could see like huge bugs, huge spiders in this world. And you know, it surprised a lot of people. I think it's got a more playful and welcoming type of sandbox type of game. So it does things well like what Minecraft did well, like in terms of, you know, it's not like super scary or dark. And they put in settings for people who are scared of spiders so that like if you have arachnophobia, you can turn that on and it's just like a box, like it's what you're fighting. And that's like fun. So it's a good co-op fun game, and it does have an ending to it, so it's not just a sandbox with no purpose.
Done.
All right. I got rebuttal.
We got rebuttal for 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
On your mark.
All right, go ahead. You know, if I wanted to kill spiders and ants and shit, I'd just go outside and kill ants and spiders. I got bug spray outside. I can stomp them with my feet. You know, I can't go outside and shoot guns and fucking kill cowboys and ride horses and fucking whatever the fuck else I want to do in fucking Red Dead. I mean, I can do whatever the hell I want. I'm not ever killing bugs. So, yeah. If I want to do that, I'll just go outside. I'll go kill some bugs outside.
Okay. All right, Scott, your rebuttal?
Okay. Yeah, so I would say that, you know, to your argument, you can go outside and kill the bugs. What if the bugs were 10 feet tall? Then you're not going outside and killing the bugs. Then there's actually some fun to that. So, and about Red Dead Redemption 2, you know, I tried playing it. I fell off of it, like after the first few hours playing it. Now, Red Dead Redemption 1, I did get into because, like, the scope was a little bit smaller. It just kind of overwhelmed me a little bit too much. And the traveling, like, it's so slow.
This is fun with a time limit.
The bugs ain't
I like
10 feet
this.
tall.
This is challenging.
You're just 2 centimeters tall.
Okay, so those are your arguments for Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grounded. Okay, next. Ooh, I think our big matchup. Bloodbourne versus Halo Combat Evolved.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Bloodbourne by me, obviously, and Halo Combat Evolved by Scott. And Scott gets a break after this one.
All right.
All right,
So who's going first?
I go first. Okay. Bloodbourne, one of the most hyped games. People are clamoring for a sequel for it because of how important and how big the game is for its fan base. There's countless lore videos on the game. The lore is amazing. Bloodborne came out in 2015 by From Software. It's so different than the Dark Souls and Demon Souls games. It's not set in medieval times. It's more in that goth Victorian setting. Beautiful, great looking game. Different approach. You don't have shields. Instead of using an Estus Blast that fills up, you get blood vials, which is a consumable. You have guns. And come on, the combat with using trick weapons that take different forms, super cool, innovative when it first came out. The bosses are very memorable. I mean, you have alien celestial bodies coming into the world. See 3 different endings. The soundtrack. I mean, who doesn't remember the first time playing the Cleric Beast? The soundtrack is amazing. It gets you hyped. This is a great game. Probably one of the best games From Software ever made. And Sony should come out with a sequel for it.
I'm gonna do tap 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 at 10.
Okay. Okay, so Halo 1 launched originally with the first Xbox game. It was a 97 on Metacritic on the original Xbox, and it launched that console to success. It's probably why Microsoft's still doing consoles today. Bloodbourne was 92 on Metacritic, so it wins there. You can pause the game, which is pretty cool. It's got difficulty settings, so you can actually like play it on easy if you want to, or you can ratchet up the legendary and play that. And you can still do speed runs and no death runs, all that stuff. You can set up fun custom multiplayer matches. Multiplayer, like this was a huge esport, like great, fun. You had split screen co-op, so I remember the days where Dominic would come over to my house after school and we'd just like play like split screen co-op, and not sitting outside like at different houses or whatever playing these games. Like Halo was groundbreaking and huge, great game.
I love how Scott that's his last couple of words.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always going over. That's not fair.
What?
Okay.
All right, rebuttal time.
Alright. Bloodborne does have co-op, so you can play. Halo, limited enemy variety type. I mean, there's like 2 or 3 different races you can fight. If you don't like first-person shooters, you're not going to like this game. I think it was pretty boring. The world isn't very updated. It's an old game. Bloodborne really helped launch From Software. After the kind of bad stuff that happened with Dark Souls 2, made them into this great developer. We got Elden Ring. I think Bloodborne got the fan base really hyped for From Software, so great game. I don't even know how to end it. Like I don't. Like I'm just.
Okay, so to your point about Halo's enemy types, like one of the really cool things in the campaign of Halo was the Flood, like introducing that whole enemy type. At the first of this game, you're just fighting Covenant, like elites and grunts and jackals and all that. But now you got this whole, like in halfway through the game, you got this whole new enemy type coming in. And also, I'd argue that Dark Souls launched From Software more than Bloodborne did. Bloodborne just expanded it, like it took the formula and it did, like tweaked it a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll just add a couple things. I think Halo was like the game that really pushed multiplayer, like first-person shooters into the mainstream. That's one point for them, but also I agree with Brett. I think Bloodborne was like the game that kind of launched from Software. I mean, into the mainstream at least. I mean, people played Dark Souls, but they didn't really start taking note until that, or even Elden Ring. But I think that kind of got them going for Elden Ring. So that's it.
Yeah, I don't want to. I will try and, but I'm over my time, so I don't want to add any more points. So, okay, our last matchup. Okay, between Shadow of the Colossus, which I will be backing, versus Eric.
No, can I use it?
Oh, yeah, you use it.
Eric will be sponsoring Uncharted 4. And then you just hit start whenever we begin.
Who's going first? You or me?
You want to go first? Or you want me to go
You
first?
go first.
Okay. Shadow of the Colossus came out in 2005. It's already had 1 remaster and 1 remake. The environment is super like original, desolate, lonely environment. Really capture that sense of being by yourself with your horse, that companionship. There's only boss fights. There's no filler. You're just fighting boss after boss after boss. The story isn't pushed in your. It's very simple to understand. It's not pushed in your face. Not a lot of lore you have to read or anything like that. The soundtrack. There's some music playing over the Forbidden Lands as you and your horse fight these colossi to try to save your little girlfriend. Original story. At that time, great graphics. Speaking of the story, it's simple, but it's also complex too. A lot of lore people have made videos on all the different colossi and about the world in general. Quick game, doesn't take long to beat, but also that the puzzling and climbing these colossi is just super original and super fun if you like puzzle games. So I recommend checking it out, especially the 2018 version.
Alright. Okay.
Alright. So Uncharted 4, great shooter, third-person shooter, your treasure hunter, Nathan Drake. I mean, this game was so good they had to make a movie for it. and the game was so good that the movie couldn't even hold up to the game. You know, Nathan Drake, he, like I say, he's a treasure hunter. Nighttime, he's Spider-Man, you know. It was so good they had to make 4 versions of it. I don't know how many versions of Shadow there was, of Colossus there was. Definitely not 4 though. Yeah, just lots of climbing, which is fun. I think I'm out of time here.
Oh, you still got 5 seconds.
I'm out of time. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Alright.
So that was it. Any rebuttals for Shadow of the Colossus?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So the movie Uncharted wasn't based on Uncharted 4, it's based on the original Uncharted. Eric gave no really good points about anything. So he's about the launch for Uncharted games. It was actually the last game in the series. And I don't think Sam, the brother of Nathan, brought anything to this. You even mentioned a new character in the series. It's kind of the same thing over and over again from 1, 2, and 3, and those are not in this bracket. I'm talking about Uncharted 4. So Uncharted Colossus again, one time only, tons of remasters.
That's time.
Alright, I'll do a rebuttal.
Okay.
Alright, go ahead. Brett, weren't you the one that picked Uncharted 4? It sounds like you don't even like that game. Like, what you talking about over there? Let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh, the graphics are way better than Shadow of the Colossus. They don't even compare. I mean, look at the water in Uncharted 4. That shit looks so good. It's nothing like that in fucking Shadow of the Colossus. I mean, all you're doing is climbing the backs of these stupid fucking rock creatures and shit. Like, I don't even know what to say about that shit. Like, you out of your mind. You're the one who picked it.
I love that you talk about climbing, and then your big argument was about climbing and how much you enjoyed it.
The climbing, yeah.
Like I said, I didn't bring notes. So.
You enjoy the
I
climbing
didn't
so
even pick
much.
this game. I got to argue for a game I didn't pick.
Did you play it though?
You did.
I thought you played it. A little bit? I thought you played through it. Well, guys, you know, people who have played it, if there are, get on there and put the
Eric's
reasons
argument
in Twitter
I'm definitely convinced
why
the
it
people.
should, yeah. Yeah.
Climb it, you know.
Yeah, it is kind of fun with the timer. It's like, oh, I mean, I could have said some more things with Halo, but I can't because of the time.
It made it a streamlined presentation. Get your big points out of the way.
What
Get
finale of the first round there?
Yeah.
I can't wait to rewatch it.
All right.
The climbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, your game is climbing. I hate it. It's stupid. But my climbing's sweet.
Dude, my client is so much better than that.
Oh man, that was funny. Oh shit. All right.
All right.
So
Are we
posting it on Twitter tonight? And then we have 4 different polls, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I'll just
one of you
post it
guys
for-
should post it tonight.
I'll do
Eric's in charge of it.
I'll do like a 13-day poll or whatever, just so
Okay.
it'll go until the next episode.
Yeah.
Okay. So be on the lookout for that tonight. Take Aim Games on Twitter, if you still have Twitter.
Yep.
Is it a Take Aim Games or is it?
It's at Take Aim Games 1.
Yeah.
Because somebody else took their Take Aim Games before we created it in 2018, so.
Yeah, we should have copyrighted them.
Oh well.
Sorry. Yeah, I think it's like some archery range that does like training stuff.
Oh, don't give them, don't give them attention.
Don't prop them up, Scott.
Okay.
We're the real Take Aim Games.
That's right. So yeah, let's move on to our next segment. Now we're gonna talk about some news that had happened. So, do we want to get into the big one, or do we want to do some?
I'll
of the
do some of the
small-
little ones here real quick. So, I'm not sure if this got announced today or if this was earlier. You probably noticed that, but early access for Starfield got announced. There's 3 different versions, 3 different ways you can get it. They got the Starfield Premium Edition, which is $100, and that gives you 5 days early access, so you can play on September 1st. Or you can get the Premium Edition upgrade for $30. So I'm assuming like if you have Game Pass, you want to buy the Premium edition upgrade. That's $30.
Is that what if you have Game Pass, then you only have to pay 30 for the
I'm
early access?
assuming, or if you just buy the regular version too, I would guess. But
Yeah, I didn't see.
and then the third version you can buy is the Constellation Edition, $300. I'm guessing that's probably already sold out. I don't know, but yeah, a lot of
that's
money
the
if you
one-
want to play it 5 days early.
Yeah, I think
so.
like the Constellation Edition had like the watch,
watch.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Okay.
So that's one news. The other news was Diablo 4's update came out today. Seems to be getting a lot of negativity towards it. I guess they pretty much nerfed every character in the game.
They made
I
it
haven't
too
tried
hard.
it yet, but I guess they nerfed everybody. It's harder to get XP. You know, it's already hard enough to get XP. I mean, I'm only like level 78 maybe, and I'm like 120 hours in. So I don't know. This is like one of the first times I've heard of a game like making it harder after it came out. Usually they kind of make it easier so you can
Yeah, it's
level
interesting.
quicker.
It's funny, my brother, he got the game like just a couple days ago, and then he was telling me over the weekend that he was playing it. And he was like, oh, I wanted to make a season 1 character or whatever, but you have to beat the campaign before you could even make a seasonal character. But yeah, I'll be interested to talk to him and see how like the harder difficulty is on him.
I think they also made it so there's like level requirements for the difficulty. You know how you got like Nightmare and all that stuff?
Yeah.
So you actually have to be like level 50 now for
Okay.
World Tier 3, level 70 for 4. So they actually made it so you have to be that level now.
Yeah.
I think because people were probably getting like carried through, but yeah, funny
But
that it
that
coincides
like-
with
Yeah.
well, some other news that we'll bring up here in a
But
moment.
people getting carried through Diablo games is a thing that's been in them. Like in Diablo 2, you could have a level 99 like carry you through like on the online, and you could level up like super fast because of that. Like I don't know. I mean, I think that's.
But yeah,
I don't know why they'd remove it from this one.
Doesn't seem like this patch getting very good reviews here, so.
Yeah, it's
and
like
then-
why are you not listening to your fan base about what's working and what's not?
I
It's
guess-
like
I guess we'll see. Maybe
a
they'll
disconnect there.
switch it back, who knows, but we'll see in the coming weeks. And then the other news, real quick, was just Pikmin 4 coming out this week, Friday. I'm
Oh,
excited to play that
nice.
game.
Okay.
But yeah, I got it on my Switch this weekend, and it popped up like on my home screen because I had a pre-order, and I thought it was like out already. I was like all excited, and it was downloading. I was like, yes, I get to play it, and I went to boot it up, and it was like, content not available yet.
I want to see. I thought I got pretty good reviews so far.
that's been getting
let me
reviewed alright?
see really quick. Let me pull that up.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, we'll see if the embargoes have come off of it.
I think it did. I'm pretty sure I saw it like on like Reddit or something. That reviews are already coming out on it. Let me see.
yeah, I didn't see that.
Oh, they're 88.
88.
That's
88
pretty
on
good, yeah.
Metacritic,
80 at Metacritic.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
Well,
good.
yeah, that's what Nintendo does. But yeah, so I guess that's it for the little news for the week. Scott, I guess I'll
Yeah.
let you take the stage.
I have
for
one
your
more
favorite
little
news.
thing. I'll just prop up my stream I did yesterday. So we talked about, I did a new nostalgia hour yesterday. I haven't posted it on YouTube yet.
Mhm.
But yeah, I started playing through old LucasArts point-and-click adventure game Secret of Monkey Island, because I think a lot of people, they don't really understand what Monkey Island is and why people like that game. Like, and there was a new one that Ron Gilbert, the creator of it, had made, I think it was late last year it came out. It might have been this year it came out, but yeah, played through that, it was good too. But now you guys can, if you want to check out the YouTube video, you can kind of see what was it all about, and I do some voice acting of some crazy pirates in that, so that was some good fun too. So
Any kind of news you want to mention, Brett? Anything you got?
No, not really.
All right.
okay, on to the big news. The Federal Trade Commission's appeal of Microsoft's acquiring Activision Blizzard for like $69 billion. That failed. So Microsoft wins that argument, and it seems like it's full steam ahead for this acquisition happening. The only regulation group that's really still opposing them is the United Kingdom one. That and so, but they're working on a deal to for their concerns that they had of working those out. So I saw that Microsoft and Activision Blizzard postponed their like finalizing the deal until like October now, because it was gonna be this month that the deal was supposed to go through, but they wanted to get that deal done with the UK, and then it looks like that is finally going to happen, and so you're going to have Activision Blizzard as a Microsoft Game Studio developer now, I guess, and Microsoft's going to be the publisher. So that means Call of Duty, Diablo, World of Warcraft, those are all going to be going under Microsoft, for better or worse. So let's get you guys' thoughts on this. Eric, let's start with you this time.
Well, looks like they're off to a hot start with the Diablo update. 'Cause that's under Microsoft's watch
A hot
now.
start?
So yeah, that's under Microsoft's watch.
Like, what do you mean by a hot
He's being sarcastic.
Yeah, I'm being sarcastic. 'Cause, I mean, no
What?
one seems to like this new Diablo update, so
Yeah.
I'll credit that to Microsoft. Since they already took over there. Other than that, you know, I'm kind of excited to see what Microsoft can do with Activision. You know, I've kind of been tired of some of the stuff that Activision puts out. Like, I'm over a Call of Duty. I'm kind of hoping Microsoft like makes it like an every other year title. I don't think that's gonna happen, but you know, you never know with Microsoft, so that'd be cool. But I was trying to think of like older titles they used to do for like Activision and stuff that maybe they could revive.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, Microsoft might want to move some stuff around, like some developers and stuff. I don't know what their plan is really yet, so I can't speak on that. But you know, there wasn't really. Do you know any like old Activision titles?
I mean, I'd better known with the Blizzard games. Like, I mean,
I know an old Activision title. It used to be a Sony exclusive. That's what you remember.
Crash Bandicoot?
Crash Bandicoot.
Spyro?
Spyro. Anything else? I think that's it, right?
yeah, those would be awesome.
Those would be cool to see on Xbox.
I mean, we did see Crash.
Well, they're already on
come out.
Xbox.
Yeah, but a new one on Xbox would be cool.
The new one, Crash
But-
4 was on Xbox. That was
Oh.
brand new. Yeah.
Oh.
Spyro, we haven't really
Spyro
seen
hasn't been
for a little
rebooted.
bit. Yeah.
Well, no, they remastered the trilogy.
Okay. So Brett, what are your thoughts on it?
I guess it was kind of inevitable. I think if you're a consumer or pro-consumer, I think it's awful. You know, it just paves the way for Microsoft to, if you have the money. I guess compare it to the movie industry with Disney buying everything, having it under one umbrella. And now Disney is actually trying to sell off stuff because they bought too much. And look at Disney Plus isn't even profitable if you look at the financial records. And I heard that they're trying to sell off like ESPN and ABC, which are things that they bought. They didn't grow within. And they're looking to sell it off. Not saying Microsoft's going to do that with Activision and Blizzard. But again, if you're pro-consumer, I think it allows these people that have all this house money, Microsoft being a huge company, just to buy everything up, and nothing's going to stop them. I read how the FTC tried to argue it, and all they did was try to argue on behalf of Sony when they should have argued more on behalf of the consumer. Because the big thing was Call of Duty, right? And how Call of Duty has to be on PlayStation, and now there is reportedly a deal to have Call of Duty be on PlayStation for the next 10 years. But again, what's going to happen after 10 years? I mean, Call of Duty is not going to go away. I think it's worrisome. I think this green lights. I mean, with Activision and Blizzard being so big, this will green light Microsoft to buy other publishers. And I think if you're a PlayStation fan or even like a Nintendo fan, and now those games, besides Call of Duty for the next 10 years, and the games are already on PC, like WoW, StarCraft, they're going to be primarily on PC. I don't think they're not really, I think, built for like consoles. They're more PC games. That's not going to change. But I just don't think if you're a consumer and you're looking at this as a market as a whole, where the FTC is trying to stop monopolies, so those are not a good thing for consumers. But then they just had a really bad argument in front of the judge. I think it's kind of sad. I mean, kudos to them. If they won their argument, whatever. But I don't think it's going to stop anything in the future from changing. In the next, down the road. And Sony, they don't buy publishers. They buy studios that they've worked on or worked with previously. Look at Insomniac, Bungie as well. But see, what Sony did was they bought Bungie, but they had an agreement to make, hey, all the stuff that you make is going to be multi-platform, right? I would have been okay with it if Xbox came out and said, hey, yeah, we're going to buy this and we're going to publish it or whatever, or we'll let Activision Blizzard still publish, but it'll be multi-platform, thing like Minecraft. But again, it's like those games aren't going to be coming to PlayStation consoles. Now, I don't think this is going to help Microsoft sell more consoles. I think if you think that, I think most people are going to probably just have PCs, but that doesn't matter to Microsoft because all they care about is money and they already dominate the PC space. So, I just don't like the move as just me being a consumer, and I hope, and if you're smart enough that you wouldn't like this either.
Okay, so I'll give my thoughts now. So in terms of bad, I think, yeah, like just the fact that they're gobbling this up, I think, like for so much, whenever you see a big company like buy another big company and take on that many employees, like you're going to see a bunch of layoffs as that integration happens because there's a lot of positions that are maybe doing the similar things and that's going to be kind of sad to see, like, and that's a large amount of money, and I know that Call of Duty makes a lot of money. I think too they're doing it because like also under that Activision there's like a mobile developer,
Candy Crush, King.
Yeah, King. And that just is they're hoping that's gonna make back a ton of that money, which is, yeah, we'll see. It's a really big investment for Microsoft, and I feel like they're going to end up cutting back in other areas, which are not good. Though the things that could be cool out of it is that we could see, like Eric was saying, we could see some old franchises that people really loved. I think that Microsoft likes to look at these old franchises that people like that haven't really been rebooted in a long time and trying to make something to reboot those. Like we see Fable is one example of that. And what they were trying to do with Perfect Dark, I don't know when that's coming. We didn't
Your
see
favorite
it
developer,
there.
Scott, The Initiative.
I don't know if they're my favorite, but I'm just curious to see what they are gonna do. But yeah, I mean, like I've never been a big fan of the Call of Duty games. I never really got into Candy Crush either, or the King games on mobile. So the Activision part of it, I don't know as well. The Blizzard part of it, like I've always was a big fan of the old Blizzard games, and I think they're pretty good actually with live service games if you think about it, because Blizzard's big game franchises now, they're going on our World of Warcraft, which is one of the most successful MMOs.
Gonna come to Game Pass, so you don't have to subscribe anymore?
Yeah, I think they might try to do a WoW 2 just to get the name of a sequel. Even though, you could keep doing expansions forever. But, yeah, I mean, you have to have something, like some drawing thing that makes it way better than World of Warcraft.
Well, the thing that kind of worries me with this is, like, you mentioned mobile gaming, and, Phil Spencer's always talking about, we want to have more places to play, more places to play, more places to play. I'm worried they're going to kind of, maybe downgrade these games a little bit and try to get them all on phone. And, with not really being a whole lot of third-party developers left out there, it could be bad for the gaming industry for, like, hardcore gamers because, they might just not try to put out as many like big AAA titles and focus more on the mobile space. Who knows? He keeps talking about we're not worried about consoles, so who knows? He could be buying this out and trying to corner the mobile gaming market. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's something to think about too. But yeah, I mean, back to like Blizzard, I think another game franchise I'd like to see is StarCraft 3. I don't know. I heard some rumors that a new StarCraft game might be in development. I don't know if it's going to be RTS. They might go with like a StarCraft Ghost, which was some like FPS game, like first person shooter game that they tried making years ago. It never came to fruition. Um, because like StarCraft 1 was super popular, like, and I think people were still like really clamoring for StarCraft 2. But the popularity of StarCraft today, I don't think is as much from the time period from StarCraft 2 to 3. But like StarCraft was one of the biggest esports like out there, so they might try to reboot the RTS thing.
Oh, I think it'd be absolutely massive if it came out with a new one today. But maybe they'll just make StarCraft mobile. Who knows?
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I mean they made Diablo mobile now, but that is really of their existing franchises. Like that's the last like big one that they could do because they're still doing World of Warcraft with Warcraft, Overwatch, and then Diablo 4 just came out. So StarCraft's the other.
Didn't they come
big
out
one.
with like a new Warcraft?
What?
Like a few years ago, maybe like 8
Well,
years ago. Or was that a remaster?
they did a remaster of Warcraft 3.
So that didn't go over
Because
well,
that was
did
an RTS, dude. No, the remaster of Warcraft 3 did not go over well. But I mean, I'd love to see a new Warcraft RTS, but I don't know if they'll do it. But yeah, those are some of my thoughts on that. I don't know. Can you think of any Activision games that you were a big fan of, Brett? Like back in like when you were a kid growing up?
I mean, I like WoW. I mean, we were obsessed with it when I was in high school and even like beginning of college, back in like the late 2000s, early 2010s. Good memories. I mean, I wasn't really much of a Call of Duty fan. Didn't really care for it. I like Candy Crush a little bit. I mean, it was a big mobile game. That was back when it first came out. Everybody and their mom was playing that on Facebook and crap. I remember seeing all those posts on Facebook. I'm trying to think. I never played StarCraft. I played Overwatch a little bit, but that game's going down the shitter, it seems like. Now it's,
Yeah, so that's the thing I'm a little bit worried about is, some of these games haven't actually... I mean, Diablo 4 was a success critically, but, it's like... Sometimes they do questionable updates to their games, and it's like...
Was it $69 billion too?
And Call of Duty, like, is it getting a little bit old and stagnant to people? Like, is it going to continue being the top-selling game?
Yeah.
That's been old to me since, like,
yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 was, like, the last one.
Well, they're coming out with
Like
Modern
the
Warfare
old
3.
Modern Warfare? Because,
Modern Warfare 2, that was, like, the last one I enjoyed, like, back in...
Well, they're coming out with a new Modern Warfare 3. I think it's coming out this year.
I didn't even get into Modern Warfare 3, the original, so...
I mean, when you think about it, it's like it's not really like what do they have that would excite people besides the Blizzard games. I mean, Tony Hawk came out.
Well, it's surprising that like how much did it sell for? Was it 69 billion?
Something like that, yeah.
And then Bethesda only sold for like 10 billion.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather have Bethesda.
It's because of Call of Duty and King
Mm-hmm.
and WoW, but mostly, I mean, Candy Crush and Call of Duty are like the two.
Yeah.
And I don't think Sony cared about Candy Crush that much. I mean that doesn't really impact their space. But I mean Call of Duty obviously. I don't know. I think Microsoft just kind of said what they had to say just to get through it. But after that 10-year deal, I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, it's gonna go through. So it's like and no FPS at Sony and Nintendo will never make an FPS that's kind of like that. So Splatoon was third person, right? But that's not even like that's not Nintendo's realm. It's going for like those military style like games or whatever. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see down the road. With Bethesda, I was more upset about Bethesda being acquired because I enjoy those games more. But when it comes to actually profits and revenue coming in, obviously Activision and Blizzard is going to be the big money maker. I think this. Moving this conversation to how Sony can respond, I don't think they have the cap equity to really like acquire something big. I think continuing to have these, exclusive deals with Square Enix, get more in bed with Capcom. Just, really keep a hold. A lot of people in America like those, those games too, because those are like Japan publishers. So
Is that developer that has been remaking games like Shadow of the Colossus?
Bluepoint?
Are they exclusive or are they?
no, they got bought by Sony.
Oh.
Yeah, that's just their point that Sony works these developers, and then they kind of integrate them slowly into their system,
Oh.
and then they want to keep on working with Sony, and then they sell themselves. And Sony will back and kind of let them do what they want. And Microsoft's saying that, kind of try to say the same thing, right? Like, we'll let you guys do whatever you want. We'll give you the money and put out a good game or whatever. But obviously with Redfall, we're gonna talk about that ad nauseum.
Yeah.
Again, I know Redfall was halfway, 3/4 of the way done by the time I got to Microsoft, but they still allow that game to be released. So yeah, I guess I don't really have much more to say. Just I know we talked about this a lot in the past few episodes, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. I don't know if it's going to be that bad for the consumer, just because, I mean, the games are still going to come out, but it's just a different company making money.
I think monopolies are bad for consumers, and they're turning into a monopoly.
Yeah, we'll see if the subscription prices for like Game Pass goes up and stuff. I know that Microsoft, they announced recently they're getting rid of games for gold.
Didn't they already raise it when they announced that they were trying to buy Activision?
I know there was one time where they tried to raise it and
Well, they
people
just
threw a
raised it,
fit and then they didn't go forward with it. And they
really?
just
I'm
did
Game
like
Pass
a-
right now. So.
Well, I think Game of Gold kind of sucked anyways. It was it was terrible compared
they
to
weren't
what
doing
PlayStation
anything.
Plus was doing.
Yeah.
My
So-
prediction is it'll be
It's like,
$20 a month by the end of 2025.
I think maybe even sooner than that.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, what's it at right now? It's still 10.
I felt like 12 or something.
So they did raise it. It was
I might just be
10
making that up,
It was
but-
10 last time I was.
Well, I think they have like different tiers now.
Yeah, they do.
But I'm kind of ignorant to that stuff, so I don't really pay attention. Unless it's PlayStation, Nintendo. But yeah, we'll have to see.
okay.
Just
All right.
heads up, I'm almost done with Dead Space.
Oh, okay.
We'll give my Worth a Dip review
Nice.
on the next Gamescast.
All right.
3/4 of the way done with Dying Light 2, and then I'm still working through Final Fantasy 16 as updates to what I've been playing.
Okay,
That sounds good.
so they did raise the prices. It's
Okay.
$16.99 a month for Ultimate. Game Pass Ultimate. I think that was $15 last time I was using it,
Yeah.
which was a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll be like 25 by the end of 2025, I bet.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of subscription services that are gonna be going up in price.
Yeah, subscription.
Even like in the TV industry. So it's not-
Well, subscriptions are crazy. Look at Netflix changing the way that they're doing things. Want to get one quick thought? Oppenheimer comes out
Ooh.
this week. Are you guys excited for that? Because I am pumped for that movie to come out.
I've been hearing about it. I haven't really seen any.
I've been
previews or
ready for it
anything.
for like a year. When it got now that Cillian Murphy's who was the lead with Christopher Nolan.
Is this the dude from what do you
He was
call it?
Scarecrow in Batman. He was in Dunkirk.
Oh, okay. See, like I said, I haven't really seen the previews for it. I just heard about it. I thought it was the dude from Peaky Blinders. It's not him.
I don't think I never seen Peaky Blinders. I'm not sure.
Maybe it
He's
is.
like really skinny, like big
It looked
jaw.
like him. I couldn't.
Well, you've seen Batman Begins, right?
A long time ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's Cillian Murphy. It has Josh Peck's in it from Drake and Josh. You guys remember that show?
Yeah, I did watch that.
I didn't really watch
Yeah,
that.
he's in it. There's like a joke when he's talking about in the show they have
I am excited for it.
they have a thing called like the Game Sphere. It's kind of like the GameCube, but it's like a sphere. And he goes like it's spherical, and then like I've read people are saying that like he's gonna say it like it's nuclear, nuclear. Like I don't know. It was a funny
it'll
kind
be
of
a cool like meme.
Yeah.
yeah, like yeah. But I can't wait for that movie.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think Christopher Nolan has a bunch of good twists on his movies usually. So
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I was supposed to go see it tomorrow, but my brother-in-law can't do it, so I'm gonna wait
Okay.
until next week. But yeah.
Yeah,
check it
that
out.
is the lead dude from Peaky Blinders.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, and for like next week, what do you guys think about? Do you want to talk about like
2 weeks.
AI? Okay, yeah, in 2 weeks. Do you guys want to like do for a topic like AI voiceover. Like, what do you guys think about AI taking over like for voice acting and
Oh, they're taking
kind
over
of the
everything.
scary like
Yeah, we can
stuff
talk
that
about
is?
They're taking
Okay.
over everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big topic even
Yeah.
in my industry and my full-time job.
Right.
That's a big
Yeah,
conversation.
you guys are gonna be out of jobs.
Well, tell me where I work.
I'll tell you some more after this too.
I'm not saying
What happened this week?
All right, well, vote. Go to Twitter.
Okay.
Take Aim Games 1.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go ahead and end this video now.
I was reading. What book is that? The video game one. They have a movie for it.
Ready Player One?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
started reading that. That's pretty
Okay. Yeah.
So,
I like
yeah.
the movie.
good. Yeah, if you haven't read that book, read it. Read
Okay.
Player One.
Okay,
Alright.
yeah. So yeah, subscribe to the Take Aim Games channel on YouTube, and yeah, the Twitter polls are gonna be at Take Aim Games 1 on Twitter, and then you can like our content on YouTube, subscribe to it, and yeah, you can check us out on the audio apps too, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Like, yeah, they should be on the big ones you can search for us if you like listening to audio better. But why would you want to do that? You can just look at us.
Hang out with us
Yeah.
in person. So,
Okay.
all right.
Bye.
Alright, see ya.